Hey guys! So today you and I are going to talk about a big problem in software development. So let's get into it. So the question in question was, Frederick, what is from your perspective the biggest problem with software engineering today? And I think this is a great question. It's a fun and open question where you can express a personal opinion about something, and I hope that that's very clear that this is just a personal opinion. And I think I actually have answered this specific question once or twice before. But to get right into it, I will say that entropy is right now the biggest problem in software development. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, I mean that basically software development has grown to the point where now we are reinventing or creating new ways of working. We are creating new tools and libraries and so forth, which are definitely a great thing in many ways. One thing that is not so great though is that the more options that you have in the marketplace, the harder it becomes for you to find people who actually know what they're doing with these tools. The demand of an education or the skill requirements for a software developer is going up. Not necessarily because the job has gotten all that much more complicated, because like in-depth knowledge and things of this nature, this sort of in-depth knowledge you used to have back in the day in order to even be able to work on a computer was much higher for sure. Like your understanding of computer science was much more important than it is today. Today it's still sort of important, I would say, but the main focus today is to know the different ecosystems, like how the browser works and mobile development and so forth, and all the different libraries and tools and frameworks and so forth. There's so much of it that you have to know in order to effectively work as a software developer, and it keeps on growing and increasing. And to add on top of that turd sandwich, you have too few developers. So if you can, hopefully you can see the same thing that I see now. So the demands are increasing more and more in terms of what you need to know, and you need more and more developers because you want to move faster and faster. So you have too few developers and you're already increasing the demands on the few ones that you actually have, which means that it's even harder for new people to come into the industry. Now this may or may not, I'm not going to give away anything here, but this may be one of the main reasons why you are watching me on my little hobby channel here to begin with, because some of us are trying our best to help out with this problem in the way that we can. So I believe that this problem it's gonna get worse before it's gonna get better, for sure. It's to the point now where the deficit of developers is so massive and the diversity of tooling is so massive that it has become a multi-million-dollar industry to teach people to code. How insane is that? Just think about that. What other professions do you know? Like, there are certainly a few, but I mean, I'm pretty sure that there's not that many people getting rich off of teaching someone how to, I don't know, do carpentry or something like that. What I'm saying is that it is actually today extremely profitable to deal with this problem, with all this diversity, and to try to educate people in some fashion to like produce people who are able to write software in some meaningful way quicker. That's big, to bridge this problem. Now, this is, I will say, woefully too little in order to solve this problem, because the rate of at the rate of how the diversity is increasing and at the rate at which the business needs of the industry is evolving, you will not be able to, we will not be able to keep up. It won't happen, because like if you had just one single framework and one single way of doing absolutely everything, then absolutely maybe, but we don't, because we live in a world where everybody has their own ideas on how to become a big success within the software world. which is of course very natural because it's a bit, everybody's rushing for the goal, and the goal is mostly these days in IT because it's a still very fertile landscape for entrepreneurs and new companies to make a lot of money without a lot of upfront investment in comparison in other industries. Now, what I believe is going to happen is that we're going to start reaching a point where the large companies, the larger organizations, because they usually are they're not at the leading edge of things, and their focus is not usually that, oh, we're going to be the most trendy, the most hip, the most something. They just want things to work. They want things to work for a long time, and they want things to work at a consistent pace. I'm not talking about Google, I'm not talking about Facebook or these like the top tier IT companies. I'm talking about pretty much all the other industries, the big corporations that have an IT department and software development needs, but they are not selling IT products, because that's the thing that a lot of people don't get. Google is selling you IT products. Other companies have IT products to make money. Do you see the difference there's a difference in perspective and revenue? That's something that you should always keep with you when you are comparing different corporations, right? So for these companies, I'm guessing, they're going to at some point have enough. And that's the thing that I believe is going to become the big game changer for our industry, the thing that's going to affect all of us. You see, there is a reason why languages such as C# and Java are so popular in the corporate world. One of the main reasons is that they are well known, but another reason is also that they are extremely stable. In other words, you can optimize your entire IT department around these tools because they're extremely good at creating a consistent result. They don't have to be the trendiest, they don't have to be the coolest, they don't have to win some type of award on Google I/O or whatever you can imagine. They don't have to be that, because all they have to do is to just keep on delivering and giving a company the option of finding developers who can, enough developers that can consistently produce the results that they are after. Now, I believe that we have, it's kind of like, it used to be this way, where you had this focus, and now we're in this entropy stage and everybody's like experimenting and trying to innovate, and they're trying to figure out, oh, well, what's the next big thing? Everybody's on this gold rush type of mindset where we're going to try to find all the ways of making more money than our competitors, etc., etc. But I believe that the next step in this is that we're going to go back to that value system in a new format. We're going to reinvent this stable, higher level tooling that basically encapsulates all the needs of the new market that has emerged. 10, 20, 30, 40 years back in time, you had one market, one specific type of market, and today it's a new world, or it's a different market. And we're going to reinvent, which is my guess, this exact same work structure. And you're going to see most likely something like Lambda functions or things such as integration platforms like Mule or Kubernetes or so forth take us to the next level, where we give people a higher level abstraction on top of the tools that we have today, and which basically creates a situation where you can educate people in these abstractions. They don't actually have to know all the layers of stuff that is going on underneath. They can just focus on learning a specific CLI or a specific integration tool or something like that. You can think, for lack of a better analogy, you can think of it as the good old days when people were making websites in Dreamweaver, but at a much more advanced level. So you have something that allows people to produce the business requirements or the results that they need today without having to have an in-depth knowledge. And by doing this, then all these boot camps that are all out there on the internet promising you that you will be a software developer in a week or 5, maybe if you stretch it 3 months, they will actually be able to produce these sorts of people, because they are not able to do it today. And for most people will not get the education that they need to truly become a software developer by just working for that amount of time, because the diversity, as I said, it's just going to take you too much time. So we need to bridge that education gap, and the only way to do that is either to have a lot more intelligent people, and that's not going to happen, or create a a education that, or a tooling, or rather reducing the requirements of what it is that you actually do. And that, I believe, is the future to solving this problem that we have. So what I want you to take away from this is that the biggest, in my world, problem in software development today is the increasing entropy. Like the complexity and the demand for software competency is outpacing the supply so much that we're basically in a situation where companies are having, they're getting into trouble just producing results, and they need more and more people. And I don't believe that that's going to go away anytime soon, but I do believe that the next step in order to solve this problem is to create higher level abstractions on top of all the tools that we are using today, reducing the education requirement in order to do meaningful work in software development, so that the really large companies can actually have less educated people to do the things that they actually need to do. Now, Google and so forth, and these top IT companies, they may keep on doing the thing that they're doing today for quite some time, but as I said, they are not representing the vast majority of companies. And these companies who just wants to make money from whatever it is that they're making money from, they're more focused on just getting their product to keep on developing as quickly as possible. And that is possible without having to have only super geniuses and like all these different toolings and all this innovation all the time. So that's what I believe. Have a great day.